and I can totally spotlight you. Well, I'll put it on myself for right now, but well, I'll just go ahead and spotlight you. All right, so George and MJ, welcome to the uh, basics and fundamental class.
Thank you.
Um, your instructor Dee Dee has a lot of martial art experience under her belt. I should say maybe belts, because I'm sure she's had many colored belts. But anyway, she's got about 16 years of judo experience before coming to Tai Chi. Her Tai Chi experience started back in 2010, and when she came to our Tai Chi school, and in 2017 she received her third level rank of Gold Eagle, and she's been teaching at our school since 2017. Um, you guys are in excellent hands. I'd like to turn the class over now to Dee Dee, and everybody enjoy the class.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And welcome. I'm particularly excited this morning because it's Saturday morning, as I said a moment ago. And we started a Saturday morning Tai Chi class at the Redmond Young Cheng Fu Center a couple of years ago. And still warms my heart because the people who get up on Saturday morning to do Tai Chi are people who get up on Saturday morning to do Tai Chi. I don't know what else to say. It's people who want to get their weekend started right. So whether we're me or we're 10 people or we're 2 people or whatever we end up being, it's really wonderful to have you here and to have you joining me. And I was actually particularly hoping that this class would be a modest-sized or small-sized class, because that way you guys can ask questions. Now, I see that you are muted, and that's fine. In here, we often go yes, or not so sure, or no. And you can also unmute yourself at any time. And if your environment is really fairly quiet, feel free to unmute yourself. And we're a small class, and that way you can talk back and forth with me, and that's a really great way for us to run the class, especially when there's not as many of us that are here. I'm going to actually just make sure I'm on where I can see everybody. Welcome, Tammy. Nice to have you here as well. You're welcome to have your video on or off as works for you this morning. So not every time will we spend a lot of time just warming up together, but I think it's particularly important for us all to check in with our bodies today. It's our first time together. So what I'm going to suggest is we start at the very top, and well, actually start with your feet shoulder width apart, and basically under your hips, and feel your feet. Feel your feet. In fact, you may find you naturally carry some tension in your feet. See if you can let your feet go from looking kind of like this to looking like this, right? Just kind of relaxing into your shoes or the floor or whatever. See if you can feel like your feet are glued to the floor and you are relaxed in gluing them to the floor. And then if you can, imagine that the very top of your head is actually very, very, very gently pulling up. And as it does, your spine expands, but your feet are still glued to the floor. And in fact, your feet are very glued to the floor, but you haven't relaxed down. You're being suspended, almost as if you were on a coat hanger. And your whole body was just gently relaxed, suspended, hanging from the coat hanger, and then glued to the ground. Then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to check in with your head. So just a little forward and back, a little bit of a chicken head here. A lot of us have our chins out much of the day, our heads forward, and you can't get that head in line and get all of your body in line unless you actually get a feel for where you hold your chin. So bring it in a little further, your head a little further, and out a little further, be a little bit of a chicken, and then relax. And you may find that you're holding it in, or its natural position is not where it's normally natural for you, but it's now all aligned. And then turn to the right like an owl, and to the other side. You guys can mirror me. That's probably easiest today, is for you to mirror me. And I'm going to get used to saying my right and left, or not saying it. Just at your own speed. If you have crunchies, a lot of us have, good morning, Yukiko. If a lot of us have crunchies, then be really gentle. Not every one of us can do this. And maybe up and a little over, and up and a little over. Listen to how your body is talking to you this morning. And coming back and feeling suspended. If you'd like to do a little more with your neck, always feel fine. Do whatever you would like. And let's go to the shoulders. Let's pull them back just a little and up. And down the front. And way deep down in the back of those shoulder blades. And then, maybe imagine this hood coming over your head and down your front like a waterfall. So it's gentle, but it's as big as you want it. You know, your safety and comfort is most important. It's not how far you go. It's relaxing into the exercise that matters. Let's go the other way. We're going to come up and down the back, like just something really wonderful. It should feel really good in the morning. One of my teachers, who's also one of, I hear, George's teachers, is Kelly. And Kelly talks about, and a lot of people do, about the 70% rule. Now let's bring our arms up. Breathe in and down. Maybe even bend those knees a little bit. Palms back and up and down. Bend those knees a little bit. And up. So the 70% rule is, think about how far you could go and just go about 70% of it. And today, since it's our first day, I'd like to suggest you be more at 55%. Don't push it. If you feel like you're not quite getting all the stretch you might get, that's okay. Just try it. Smaller steps, smaller stretches. And then come down. Lovely. And does anybody remember hula hooping? Did anybody do that when you were a kid? I had one when I was like 5 or 6, or maybe 7 or 8. They were really popular. So we're now talking the late 50s here. And you'd have this hoop and you'd keep it going. Oh, I can see MJ, you probably knew how to hula hoop. This seems very natural to you. And you know, you can do it 2 different ways. You can keep your head suspended still and try to isolate those hips, or you can do it this way. It's a little, be careful though, your head's tippy. I prefer to do it this way. Just kind of letting those hips go. And then let's put our feet together and take our just little tiny circles. Checking in with your body. Your body is going to tell you if there's any part that's stiff right now. Turn your one of your feet out towards the corner and stand on it. And then just put your foot out and bring your foot back. And put your foot out and bring your foot out. And then we're going to go slowly now. And we're going to put our heel out and then our toe. Let me get back a little bit. I'm going to put our heel and then our toe and then our heel and then our toe. Can you see that? Heel, toe. There's an awful lot of light here. So just believe me, it's heel, toe. And then you could go on the outside of the foot and the inside of the foot. Outside of the foot, the inside of the foot. And switch feet. So you're going to come back, go out. You can do toe heel or heel toe. Just get those feet warmed up. And outside of the foot, inside of the foot. Outside of the foot, inside of the foot. Kelly does these too. I just love these. They're so great. So are we feeling okay? Is your body loosened up? It's early in the morning. Great. So this particular class is one where we're going to explore Tai Chi basics and fundamentals and our body's natural way of moving and how that applies. In our daily life, when things happen to us suddenly, if there was an earthquake that happened, you'd instinctively probably go down and grab at the floor. This is the kind of thing that you would do in Tai Chi. You would lower yourself in Tai Chi and go into a stance that was very stable for you. When we were playing as children, we were doing things like this, where we were swinging an arm, swinging an arm, swinging an arm. A lot of these are in our bodies already. So part of what this is about is to discover what's in your body, what your body does naturally, and connect it to Tai Chi. So you're not like, oh, I have to put my hand here and here and here, but instead you can make modifications to what it is that your body does naturally. And that makes it easier for you just to imagine one thing and go right ahead and do it. So I want to start by showing us all and giving us all an experience we probably have never had before, except maybe George and Yukiko, because they came on Wednesday. But MJ, you may not have had this before unless you came on Wednesday. It's a good experience. I actually still do it a lot. I call it the Furry Friends activity. And this is what we're going to do. I want you to imagine that a cloud is rolling in. Pick a spot. We're going to use our imaginations. Pick a spot that the cloud is coming into your room. And the cloud is going to come in and it is going to rest on your floor. Now, I realize you can see me at this moment. So maybe I'm going to come forward enough that you actually can't see me completely. And I want you to imagine, like you, and I'm seeing you the same way, that there's this cloud on the floor and you cannot see your feet anymore. Not possible, but I still want you to be suspended. Not only that, into this space, we're going to put your choice, little kittens, little gerbils, whatever. Let's say 50, 60, 100 of them into this space. It has to be something you like. They are furry friends. And I want them on the floor. And now I want you to go to a spot in the floor. You don't need to watch me because you should be in your mind. I want you to move in this space. Remember, you can't see the floor, and anytime you step, there may be a furry friend underneath. You put that heel down. Is there a furry friend there? And, oh, I can step there. Oh, good. Oh, but now there's a furry friend coming under my back foot, maybe. So I want you to be moving. Just moving. Very suspended and relaxed. You guys have fabulous heads, those of you I can see. They're going up. Of course, we're not going to look at our feet because what would be the point? Remember, if you put that foot down, oh my gosh, there might be a furry friend there. You might have to take it back. Imagine that. Imagine what it's like if a furry friend comes under your feet. Maybe you decide to sort of pet it on the way down as you shift your weight. Can you go sideways, maybe? What would that be like? You don't want to hurt any of these. They're quite delicate. They're your friends, but they have no sense whatsoever. So you're going to have the sense for everybody. Oops, there's going to be one where you step next. Feel it. Maybe move your foot to a different location and then shift your weight. All right, so let's come back into conversation. And if you can, unmute yourself and just let me know if you had any experiences with that. George, you unmuted. What was that like?
I can't put when I step out, I can't put my weight too quickly on that foot. I have to see what's there and then slowly transfer weight.
Absolutely. This is true in Tai Chi too. So it's a great thing. And guess what? You could do it, right?
Yes.
You could do it. Could you take really big steps or little steps, or how did that feel to you?
I would tend to take smaller steps.
Yeah. Because we really can't. If we take these big steps, we don't have anywhere near the kind of control that we would have if we had the little steps.
Yes.
And anybody else have thoughts they want to share? This is how we move in Tai Chi. You already know how to do it. So don't think about where is my weight so much in the beginning. I mean, sometimes it's important, right? But think instead about furry friends. You can already do this. You know you can do this. So imagine that you have to step, but you have to gather yourself together. Did anybody feel that way? Like your whole attention sort of comes together as one thing. It comes together, you gather yourself together because you don't want to hurt the furry friends. Another thing you could imagine is it's like walking on ice. So just take a moment, and you can dispel your cloud now, but take a moment and think about that. Like if you had to walk 2 feet forward, but you're not sure how slippery it is, and you're also not sure how thick the ice is, how it's going to hold your weight. So you're going to, again, gather yourself together, make sure you're centered, put that foot out, and then be really tentative as you go. You have done this instinctively when you were on an icy place. So now think about it being slippery. If it's being slippery, we can't just push in any direction, right? We have to kind of go down. We have to go down when we're moving. So give that a try. not furry friends this time, but ice. Now, if any of these images is traumatic for you, don't use them. Go back to furry friends or, or go into ice. It's so beautiful to watch you guys a little bit, those of you that I can see, because as you move, I can see in your body how unified you are. Hi, Tammy. Welcome, welcome. Nice to have you here. All right, so Tammy, do you have anything you'd like to share with us about these activities? No. It was a lot to just turn it on, I know. I believe it or not, I feel the same way. So, yeah, George.
When it's ice, I'm tending to put my heel down and then slowly put weight and roll onto my foot, because you've got to kind of test it first.
Yes, yeah, shift it gradually, very gradually and down, absolutely. And this is, so these are good images. If the images work for you, and they appear to work for you guys when I watch you move, these are good images to keep in mind as you do Tai Chi. And there's something very empowering about knowing you already know how to do it. Sometimes somebody will say, oh, go shift your weight, and I'll go, gee, this doesn't feel right. I'm not sure I can do this. And even today, that's true. But if I just ask my body, oh, wait, furry friends, somehow it all comes for me. So you may be like me. You may be somebody that has those. Yeah, George.
No, it's interesting that you're doing this. Your mind is focusing on things that normally you just do automatically without thinking. So your mind is focusing on where your feet are going, where normally you just walk.
Very true, very true. And we're becoming aware of things our bodies already know how to do as well. So it's kind of both. We're focusing, we're becoming one with our bodies and our environments. Did you know that Tai Chi means one thing? More about that another day. But yeah, it's really kind of cool that way. All right, so I wanted you to experience that, and there are actual words for some of. I wanted to point out to you some of the things you did instinctively when you're doing furry friends. You were holding yourselves very erect. You weren't like tipping. You were holding yourself very erect. Some of you were putting your arms out, which helps you to balance, right? It's an instinctive thing, helps you to balance. In Tai Chi, we have a body shape, which we'll learn more about. So that's one of those things. You talked about shifting your weight, George, and waiting until, putting it on there and not having any there. We call that empty. And then, moving and gradually filling it. We call that empty and full. So it's something else we'll be coming back to just a lot when we do this. What I would like to do now is I'd like to do another activity, which is I want you to explore what it would be like. Now you're going to have to go back maybe to your youth here or to your children or whatever, but I want you to imagine that you're on a sort of rocky surface, okay? I want you to imagine you're on a rocky surface. And again, I'm going to kind of hide my feet on purpose here for a moment. I want you to imagine, and I'm not going to be able to see yours either. You're going to have to tell me. So we're on a sort of rocky surface. So get yourself kind of comfortable or know that you're on a rocky surface. But now I have a bow, like a bow for bow and arrow. I'm going to hand this to you guys. And I want you to aim. You don't have to aim like right off at me. You could aim off at the corner because it might kind of freak me out if you aim right at me. There you go, Tammy. Looks good. Some of you will have memories of this. Some of you won't. But I want you to imagine that. And now just kind of imagine that. You're pulling the string back. You're holding on to the bow. I think when I was a kid, they told me, it comes back about to your cheek. Oh yeah, there you go. It comes back to cheek. So, and you're kind of out a little, just feel comfortable with that. Feel comfortable with that. It could be either arm, whichever one works for you, but probably you have one side that's better. Now, what I really want you to do is I'm going to give you this bow, okay? So I'm giving it to you, right? It's windy. You've got to shoot off in that corner direction, but it's windy and it's rocky. Would you get in position to do that? It's windy, it's rocky. Just go instinctively into how are you going to do that? Yeah, MJ, yes, feel your feet. Yeah, I can see you guys getting balanced. Feel your, oh, George, fabulous, fabulous. All right. So now I want you to look down. Oh, you got to do it again, George. I want you to relax your arms and look at your feet and see if you can describe to me anything about those feet. Let me ask some questions. First of all, are they really close together or are they a little further apart? Oh, no, they're not close together. So about how far apart are they? Shoulder width, MJ is saying, about shoulder width apart. All right, shoulder width apart. And are they parallel like this, or is one of them off to an angle? One of them is off to an angle. Isn't that interesting? You didn't even look. You didn't even look. Your body knew. Once you said, it's rocky and it's windy and I've got to aim and be stable, your feet just went there, right? They just went there. So in Tai Chi, we also want our feet to go there. You know, we want them to go there. Now I'm going to talk about it so you guys can come look a little bit here. So here I am standing shoulder width apart. And if I stand like this, right? Well, we all can kind of see that. It's like being a golf tee. It's like, whoa, you know, that's not necessarily the most stable. Exactly. But if we're under our shoulders, we're much more stable. And if somebody pushed us from this side or this side, we could resist, right? Feel it. Feel it. Go ahead and do that. Feel it. Feel it. But what happens if I'm doing that and somebody pushes me this way? Well, you know, I could bend and I could bend if I keep my weight down, but basically I'm not very stable in the front back direction. And I'm not very stable this way or this way. So when you were on the rocky surface and it was windy and you didn't know what was going to happen next and you had to aim, your body instinctively put one at an angle and one, you know, at different angles so that, take a look at this, so that you had control in this back corner direction. You had control kind of in this, and it's not perfect control anywhere, in this direction. You had control in these directions. You have some front back control. You can play with this. I'm going to teach you how to do this. This is called the archer step or the bow step. The only two directions it's not as strong in are these two directions. So you've gone from no stability here to two directions of stability here to instinctively, when I put you on a rocky surface and I told you you needed to shoot that bow, you got yourself in some sort of position where one was out at an angle and they were still apart, and you could shoot, and you had good stability in all the directions except two. So this is what the bow step gives you. And you, again, your body already knows a lot how to do it. And it should know the feel. So if ever your bow step doesn't feel right, put yourself on the rocky area and say to your feet and your bottom, come on, you got to shoot this bow. And then your body will help you get there, because it may be something that you just haven't figured out yet. about your body. So I want to show you this a little bit more about how to do it, and we are going to go into it again next time. But so you really get the bow step. So pardon me while I think I won't put these on this time. I'll just use this. So I happen to have very conveniently here 2 lines shoulder width apart. So if you can just mirror me, we'll be fine. Okay, you won't have the lines, but you can mirror me. And this is showing you sort of across my pelvis. So if you looked here for a minute, and if I turn sideways, do you see how this line kind of parallels the diagonal line on the floor? And if I were to stand in the corner this way, the same thing's true for this line behind me. So it shows that my hips are turned. You got that? So I want you to sort of echo what I'm doing here. I'm going to shift. You can mirror me, or you can decide that you want to, depending on how your brain works, you might want to say, oh, that's Dee Dee's left side, but you might also say that's my right side because you're mirroring me. So we're going to shift our weight over to this side a little bit, like furry friends a little bit, because we want to now turn our hips to the right in order and turn our hips to the corner over here, and we got more weight over on this side here. So we're going to turn our hips over here and turn out, and then shift our weight so that we have weight on both of them now. And then, and my hips are starting to turn. Then I'm going to sink and move my weight over, just like furry friends. And then unfold this left foot and put my heel down. This is just like George was talking about earlier. And then I'm going to push with the back foot, heel, ball, toe, and bend my knee. So let's go through that one again. We're going to shift our weight a little onto this side. I'm going to call that the bench side of my space. We're going to turn out with the other side, pivoting on the heel. We're going to sink down and shift over, because we're thinking furry friends. Can I get my weight off that foot on the bench side and unfold? It's just going to go out wherever you can. So I'm going to go, and then you're going to go push, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. And if you look, you'll see that my hips are not this way. They are this way. So my hips are open. Okay? I want to show you a little closer so you can see me a little closer. So shift, turn, sink, over. Furry friends, gather yourself, unfold, straighten that leg, just unfold it. It's not going to necessarily go far. Push with the back foot gets straight. You see how this is still there? You're still turned, you're open to the corner. I'm looking at you, so my head's turned, but your shoulders don't have to turn. Yes, that looks good. So you don't have to turn your shoulders. You can just keep it like this. And then you have a bent knee here. You'll see it better here. Okay? So here's the, so let's do it sideways. And I'm going to do it this way because I think that'll be the same foot you did before if you were mirroring me. So we're going to, oh, actually, but then you're not going to be able to see. So we'll try it on the other side. Or, yeah, it may be the other side for you or it may not. Yeah. So we're going to shift to the left, turn, yeah, so now I can say shift to the left, turn out to the right, bend your knees, shift over to the right, unfold the left foot, and push forward. So I see you guys, so here we are. I want to show you a couple things about this. We're going to be practicing this a lot next week and moving as we do it, but I want to show you some things here. So number one, if I put this meter rule right kind of at where the end of my toes are, where that crease in my shoes is for a lot of us, you'll see that my knee does not come over my toes, right? And this would be good if you were, and sort of feel in this position, take a moment to really feel, there you go, George, take a moment to really feel the weight here. Now yours may be smaller, not as long as mine, but take a moment. I'm just showing you so that I can get, so you can see that the back leg is straighter and the front leg is bent. Those differences won't be as big if you're taking a smaller step. And then if you look this way, shoulder width apart here. And we can show that by bringing the back foot up and in, and you can see that it's shoulder width apart. So this is just an introduction to the bow step. The bow step is the archer step. It is throughout the form. We do these beautiful moves, and when we do them, we want to make sure that we're grounded, that, you know, no matter what the terrain, we can sink, we can be grounded, and that from all directions, because we're going to be moving our bodies, right? Going to be moving our bodies as time goes on. So this bow step becomes really important. Next week, we're going to go into how you can move from bow step to bow step, and make that more natural and start to get it under your belt. George and I were talking earlier, and it takes a while to get it under your belt. So I wanna take us through a cool down before we finish today, but I also want to remind you of some of the things that we've said. So let me do that first. One of those is that your body's natural ability to learn and move is always there for you. So don't let the Tai Chi move ever make you think you can't. You know, you may have physical limitations, that's fine, but your body can help you if you can get the right image. It just knows. So trust your body. Ask questions if it doesn't feel right, because myself or another teacher can always help you and guide you in that. And when in doubt, remember these exercises. Bring the clouds in. Bring the rocky surface in. If you can get your lower body to feel stable, so much easier to do things with your upper body. And this is going to help you on real ice, right? It's going to make you stronger and help your balance as you move forward. All right, so let's just cool down, and we're going to cool down with an activity that is related to actually the form, the yang family form, and all of the yang forms actually. So I want you to stand very erect and centered. Be very relaxed. We did this at the beginning. Very, very relaxed, feeling very suspended at the top of your head. Very, very suspended. Very aligned. Check that. I mean, maybe make a minor move forward or back with your pelvis, and you may find that can make a big difference in how balanced you feel. Just let your arms hang down. In fact, we're going to now feel like there's a small vibration in the bottom of the floor. That's going to get our attention down to our feet. At the same time, we're going to start to fill our arms a little bit with air. So feel them be unified. Now we're going to turn our arms, palms back, and a little helium's going to come into those arms, and they're going to float up. As they get to shoulder height, the helium's going to go out of the upper arms first and last out of the hands. And you're going to push a beach ball into water until you can't push it anymore because it wouldn't be a push anymore. And then you're going to relax your hands. And we're going to do it again. And filling the helium, the arms rise. Taking the helium out of the upper arms and then down, so you're pushing. Ends up being a bit of a wave. And again, up to shoulder height. And then kind of like a wave, because the upper arms, the elbows, and then the hands push a beach ball into the water. And then the beach ball goes away, and we just bring our hands in one more time. This is the opening move in the Yang family Tai Chi form. It's a really lovely meditation. Oh, we're going to do it one more time after this too. It's a really lovely meditation that we can all do anytime to begin our practice or to end our practice. One more time without talking. All right, now shift your weight to one side and be furry friends, because there might be a furry friend right under, you bring your foot in, right underneath where you're going to step. Put our feet together, bring our arms out. Make a fist with your right hand. And then you can put your other hand against it and we'll salute each other. Just a little salute to say goodbye. I did not ask for questions, but you're welcome to have any questions right now. I'm sorry. My first Saturday as well. Are you guys okay? Things okay? All right. That's good. You'll have to unmute yourself if you want to say goodbye or anything. We'll close the official part of class here. I hope you had a good time today. And anytime you want to do Tai Chi on Saturday morning, we're going to go through as many basics and fundamentals as we can. And I think it will complement whatever else you're doing in your life and in your Tai Chi. So enjoy that. So.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Nice to see you and meet you.
See you next week.
See you next week, Yukiko. See you guys.
See you next week.
All right.